This video is inspired by Sara Barnard's new novel, A Quiet Kind of Thunder. This is a proof. The book actually looks like this. It centres around a girl called Steffi who has anxiety, who as a child was selectively mute, and now, entering sixth form, often still can't talk to people. I'm going to tell you a story about a girl called Stevie, and a time when she couldn't talk to people. A while ago I had a different job, and for a long period of time that job was good. But at some point along the line, it became not so good. I can't pinpoint exactly what happened or when. God knows I've spent hours searching through my memory trying to figure out what it was exactly that I did wrong. Whatever the reason, at some point, for some motivation known unto them alone, two of the men I worked with decided they didn't really like me anymore. I think maybe they thought I was ignorant or lazy or for some other reason not pulling my weight. They basically decided that they didn't want to work with me anymore, and their solution to this was that they should spend their working days essentially bullying me. They did this in a lot of ways. By not doing work I needed from them, by sending me snide or aggressive emails, or by breaking and hiding my things. One of their tactics was to deny me the ability to speak. There was often only them or one other in the office with me. So whenever I would open my mouth, they would systematically shut me down. They'd bitterly snipe and argue with anything I proposed, instantly jump on any attempt I made at humour or light conversation. That, or they'd just completely and utterly ignore me. This was my workplace. There was no escape from them. Every day I'd have to go and lock myself in a room with them for unending hours. I should have spoken up about it, but I thought my managers would consider me paranoid or touchy, imagining viciousness behind what was really nothing. That if they believed me at all, I would just seem like a weak little girl, unable to deal with the basic workplace environment. I was in my mid-20s. I wasn't some school child who was supposed to go running to some adult every time someone was mean to her. I was supposed to be able to handle this myself. To me, it showed that there was something inevitably wrong with who I was, that they had decided it was okay to treat me like this. I deteriorated quickly, falling back into bad habits, rushing off to the loos to hide tears and anxiety attacks. And I stopped speaking. Originally, I tried. I'd fight my side while my suggestions were yet again inevitably met with whatever criticisms they could hastily gather about themselves. But attacks eventually wear you down. I started stammering a lot. I was often trying to talk and then getting emotional, and my voice would break and wheedle away. I came out of so many meetings feeling exhausted and mortified at how others must clearly view me. Eventually, it was just easier to not say what I thought, to, if I could help it, not speak at all. After about 2 months of this, I happened to be meeting with my manager for our routine annual review. He took me to a coffee shop and he bought me a drink, and then he sighed and asked me why these two men were treating me like this. It took everything within me not to cry in front of him right then, to shakily and carefully bring forth words. I was so grateful, in a way, that he'd said this to me, because it meant this was real. This was actually happening, so much so that someone outside had noticed it. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me being unable to cope with the normal level of things. I was also so angry with him. Furious. He had seen these things happening, and until this point, he had done nothing about it. He'd let them bully me. He spoke to them then, and they were slightly better, less overtly malicious. But now it was way too late. I'd never be able to be normal around these people again. Someone who wasn't their victim, both to them and within my own head. And that talk with my boss, when I'd sat there and basically choked out the words that no, I was not okay, it had kindled some kind of resolve back in me. I stolidly applied myself, applying to jobs elsewhere. And finally something caught and I got out. It took a little while in a new work environment to start slowly regaining confidence. I think in some ways I hadn't really understood how bad things had been until I was in an office with colleagues who weren't dedicating large swathes of their time to trying to get at me. I remember it actually shocking me, coming in the morning and people genuinely asking me how I was, how my weekend had been, actually listening and interested in the answers and not just waiting to jump on the first mistake I made in order to murmur some fetid joke at my expense. Let's go back to the book. So this is the second book Sara Barnard has published, and it's the second I've read. I'm eagerly awaiting the next. Her first book, Beautiful Broken Things, was about abuse and friendship and staying alive. Within it, and within A Quiet Kind of Thunder, I found some very true things. They are some of the best of books, where you stare in wonder at the words before you because they have somehow traced out what you previously thought only you had ever felt. Yet here it is now, delivered up to you by another. In fact, here it is delivered up in such a way that it makes you look again. It makes you understand differently. My brief experience with being forcibly quietened was a far cry from someone who, like Barnard's main character, has struggled with mutism and voice across the years and across the various strata of their life. But I still feel like she got it. Barnard had perfectly represented the struggle I'd found in attempting to communicate. The frustration of attempting to get across to others what is so clear and definitely witty and clever while it remains within your own head. Barnard draws a good representation of mental health. Within her books there are no magic wands. There is mundanity and grinding and trying to do stupid little things that you should be able to do but are somehow so hard for you. There's medication and therapy and getting better and getting worse in no neat linear order. There are things and people that come along and make it feel okay for a while, but there are ultimately no saviours who will come along and save you for you. This book communicates that well. I want to now present it to others and say, look, this is what I was trying to tell you. See you in my next video, guys. Bye. I hastily swept thumbs across a keypad, riled and raring to launch myself into impassioned debate, but I gave up quite quickly, as at the time I was meant to be waddling round Uxbridge City.